My name is Michael Knorr with Architecture Minute. In this episode, we're exploring the evolution of skyscraper architecture. We're condensing 150 years of history into 4 minutes, so let's get started. Tall buildings in the late 19th century were built to the limits of what stone or brick could support, but the limits were pretty severe. For example, the Monadnock building in Chicago, designed by Burnham and Root, is the tallest load-bearing masonry building ever built. Here's the problem. When bricks are called upon to support the weight of 16 stories, the base becomes incredibly thick. In the Monadnock building, the supporting walls at street level are 6 feet thick. But in 1885, the Home Insurance Building, also in Chicago and designed by William LeBaron Jenney, is an all-steel framed structure. This building is considered the first true modern skyscraper because it allowed buildings to grow taller and lighter with more rentable space. As the turn of the 19th century to the 20th century approached, architects debated the aesthetics of high-rise buildings. Architect Louis Sullivan was very clear on what he thought was the honest approach to tall buildings. It must be every inch a proud and soaring thing. And Sullivan's high-rise designs were exactly that. Though they may look a bit dated to our 21st century eyes, Sullivan's skyscrapers emphasized and celebrated great height. But some architects began to apply classical revival, neo-Gothic, Beaux-Arts, and other traditional forms to this new skyscraper technology. It was as if they were ashamed of height, dividing and conquering it with balancing acts of successive styles piled on top of each other. How about some classical columns to tame it? Perhaps it should have a clock at the top, or, if you don't like that, how about a French mansard roof? Or maybe a clock followed by a Beaux-Arts mansion, topped with the Temple of the Vestal Virgins from ancient Rome. Failing all that, perhaps a Germanic-looking palace to top it all off. Of course, this nonsense had to stop. By the 1930s, Art Deco became the preferred solution for tall building design. Architects competed for the most inventive expressions of height. Fresh designs popped up, like the beloved Chrysler building by William Van Allen in New York, or the Empire-Sate-building by Shreve, Lamb, and Harmon. In Chicago, the Carbide and Carbon building by the Burnham brothers was designed with black granite and green terracotta, topped with an exuberant Art Deco pinnacle covered in gold. And of course, the fully modern and still relevant Rockefeller Center with its proud height and consistent Art Deco embellishments throughout. Skyscrapers were beginning to realize Sullivan's tall building maxim of every inch proud and soaring. This period is considered by many to be the golden age of skyscrapers. World War II interrupted skyscraper innovations. But by the early 1950s, architects were exploring new territory. Ornament was eschewed entirely. Mies van der Rohe introduced the so-called glass box with Lakeshore Towers in Chicago and the Seagram building in New York. For Mies, God is in the details. Unfortunately, these seminal buildings were easily copied with cheaper details. Skyscrapers became development schemes meant to squeeze the most profit out of milquetoast designs. In 1957, at the age of 87, Frank Lloyd Wright proposed a different approach with his audacious Mile High, Illinois for Chicago. There was to be parking for 15,000 cars and 100 helicopters. People would be quickly taken to its over 500 stories by atomic-powered elevators. Wright's proposal remains unbuilt, but it did suggest another way to design skyscrapers. Adrian Smith's design for the Burj Khalifa is clearly inspired by Wright's Mile High, Illinois. Skyscrapers in the 21st century are not shy about expressing height, but also architects like Jean Gang are experimenting with new geometries. We are not done with innovation. In this new millennium, we are going to see height limits breached, new shapes expressed, and continued exploration of the nature of skyscrapers. Perhaps the best is yet to come.